Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again. I got my man Bama Beach Bum. I think this now might be a four-peat. Is that right? A three-peat, four-peat?
I think this is the third time, which
Jeez,
when I was on
Louise.
for the second time, you told me I was like one of two
Yes.
that have been. So I might be the only one to
No,
do three.
100%. Yes.
I feel elite, man. That's pretty special.
The longer that hair gets, the more opportunities, doors
It,
just
it
keep
it's still
opening
here.
up.
I
Oh,
got I got
man.
it in a bun right now, but it's still here. You can't see
Lovely man bun.
it.
Is it true that you are still catching like more fish than ever before? Has this been one of your most epic years of fishing?
Yeah. Okay. So I can't even remember. I should have been prepared for this question, but I've broken I think at least four personal bests this year with
Wow.
long hair and some good ones like bass, trout, tuna. Like I mean, not some stupid fish, but like legit cool fish that I've broken some pretty epic PBs.
My PB ladyfish.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Nothing lame like that. Actual good fish.
Yes. Well, I'm pumped to have you here. Really excited about what we're doing with you in particular. Everyone, I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you know who Salt Strong is. We'll talk about who Bama Beach Bum is. If you don't know, hopefully you do, because once again, he's been on the show multiple times. We've done a course with him. We've got a lure coming out with you as
Yeah.
well. Some
A lot.
a lot of cool stuff. And
Yeah.
the community is really the heart and soul of Salt Strong. You know, we're an online fishing club. That is the foundation of our company. Yeah, we sell lures and we have courses, but the foundation where it all started almost 7 years ago now was an online fishing club where we were sharing tactics and tips, what's working, and it evolved into what it is today with 35,000 members. And I still remember the day we hit 1,000 members. I remember we hit 2,000. I don't remember 5,000, but I remember 10,000. I remember like where I was. Like it was one of those like just like pivotal moments. Like, man, we have 10,000 members here.
Yeah.
And then it just went crazy throughout COVID with so many people fishing and so many people just looking for help and valuing their time and their family time. And the one thing that we've never really solved for, I'm going to use the analogy of church because we have our unchurched episodes, and it's the small groups in churches. There's a reason they do small groups. Can you guess what that is, Matthew? Why they do
To
small groups at
build
churches?
build community to
That's it.
connect.
Yeah, I mean it and especially like we've been going to a kind of a larger church where not to say you're a number, but you easily could be a number if you just went and then you left. But this small, it's a reason they talk about it every service. Hey, get in a small group, and they have one for men who could do 50 push-ups. Like me, no, they have all like it's a crazy how many different little small groups they have because
Right.
they want you to find things you have in common with someone. And they know once you do that, you're more likely to stick around and keep coming back because you're forming real relationships. You nailed it. It's all about community. It's all about the relationships. And the small groups are just like that super glue that bring it all together. And so we kind of played around with it, the idea, and it just never really felt right. And we're like, we don't want to create our own small group within our big group for just Salt Strong because we already have one. We need to find someone we like and trust, and we know we'll really nurture it and do some cool stuff inside of it as well. And your name was at the very top of the list. We talked through it. We've been chatting about it for a while, and we're creating the very first group. And I think the analogy, the best analogy, besides the church thing, at least for online, is Facebook. Do you recall? I don't know how long you've had a Facebook account, but do you recall the days when they didn't have groups and it was just a big wall?
I can't remember.
Okay,
I mean,
I do.
I know they
I'm a
used
little bit
to.
older than you, and I can't.
I mean, I was there. It's just it feels like it's always been there, but I know it
Crazy,
wasn't.
right? But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, for the first decade
Hmm.
or more, maybe 15 years, Facebook did not have groups. It was just a wall, and you saw your friends and the businesses you followed. That was really it. That there was nothing else besides fan pages for businesses and celebrities and your friends. Like that was
Yeah.
what you would see. And they introduced groups, and for the same reason, they knew it was like the next thing for Facebook to take this massive community and to put it in little subcultures and sub hobbyists and just affinity groups, things that people liked, and celebrities like Bama Beach Bum, if that's okay if I call you a celebrity.
I don't know if it counts.
But it worked. Obviously, groups are now like one of the most featured thing that Facebook does, because once again it continues to work,
Right.
and it's kind of segmented out all these whatever 2 billion people whatever on Facebook into these little subcultures and these little groups. And unlike how it is today, that's why I ask if you can remember it. For those of you who do remember when they did it, it was very, very select. Like you had to apply and get approved to get a group. Not anyone could get a group for like the first
Right.
year. It was like you basically had to be a celebrity or like a massive brand. They gave some of the brands the ability to do it. And like Disney had their own one of their first groups. I know you're a big Disney fan. Like,
Oh yeah.
they had very, very, very selective on who could have their first Facebook group. And then once they saw the success with it, they saw all the people loving it and fixed the bugs and stuff that always come with it, then they open it up for any Joe Blow to get their own group, which is when we got our Salt Strong group. So all that being said, that's what we're doing here with Bama Beach Bum. And do you have a name for it yet? We're just going to call it the Bummy Group or Beach Bum?
No, yeah, we need to think on that one. I haven't. I know we've been thinking a lot about what we want to put in there as far as the
Yes.
content, but have not thought about a name yet.
I'll share my screen while you debate that, because we have to have an answer before the end of this podcast.
Okay. Oh wow, that's a lot of
I'm just
pressure,
kidding.
Joe.
We don't have to, but it sure would be nice to give the listeners what they want.
I know, man.
So
I'm keep you on your toes.
If you're
Suspense.
listening, I'm now sharing my screen. I'm inside the actual the main page. This is the main dashboard page of what all of our members see when they log in. These are just all the latest tips. These are just kind of links to everything, the weekend game plans, some of the main courses that are most popular. Got over here a different menu with the podcast and tackle, but literally everything you need is right in here, and including, well, let me just keep going down so you guys can see this here. These are all the different community posts by region, strike score, and tide. So you can actually hit your tide station, which I'm not going to take us over there. This is the map. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Mr. Matthew, but every single one of those pins is a fishing report.
You guys are global,
dude. It's amazing. I mean, look at that.
It's crazy.
I mean, in your area, the Panhandle, I mean, it is just, it's crazy how many are in there. Really, really crazy. All right. So, and these are all, man, look at my orders. Don't let my wife see that. Those are all the orders I put in here this past year. But over here on the side is community. And for those of you who have not seen this before, I was telling Matthew prior to us going live, I was like, man, I remember when we would do little webinars showing some of this behind the scenes. And it was like embarrassing, because like we'd have maybe a couple posts a day. And look at this. I mean, 2 minutes. This is live. We're doing this right now. 19 minutes, 25 minutes, 33 minutes. These are all different questions. These are all brand new people. Just like, if you're about to join, this is someone who's asking a coach. You can ask a coach questions, and it all comes to the coaches. It's William who just joined here an hour ago and is asking a question about Fort Myers. And 1 hour ago, snook, trout, what did he say? The blood moon. Good job there, Aaron. Nice thick trout there. But it's so cool. I mean, this is all
very
still
active. Yeah, we're still only in an hour.
Still at an hour. Here's oh, that's pretty cool.
That's a big. Was that a snook or a tarpon?
That was a tarpon. He just released it. Look at that.
That's sick.
If that's a snook, it's definitely yeah. Holy smokes. Pretty cool. So like I said, we're still at an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you can't even find anything.
Still at an hour. Here's some more tarpon stuff. Anyhow, now we're super proud of this. I mean, this is, once again, we're still at 2 hours here. So now this thing is super engaged, and even with some freshwater stuff. And we feel like now we're at the point that we can start this, first group. And so the group will live, which is why I'm in here, inside of this community. Right. So just like use the Facebook analogy. This is Facebook, where all 35,000 members are. Bama Beach Bum will have the first group, which will be, he'll be kind of the leader of that, the head moderator, admin, whatever you want to call it. And inside of that group, What's going to happen, Bama? Let's talk about that. I know it's going to evolve over time, but what are some of the cool things we're going to be doing right off the bat that people can't find anywhere else but inside this group?
Yeah, so I've tried some of this stuff before on social media platforms that I have currently, and it just gets really hard for the ideas that we have. That's going to be for a select group of people that are hyper engaged. These are only going to be the people that are truly passionate about the sector of the sport that we're in. I do all kinds of fishing, but obviously a heavy focus is surf fishing or land-based fishing. And so, I mean, these people, most likely it's going to, anybody can jump in, if you want to learn more about that, but it's going to be the hyper focused, really, really engaged. And so that just helps all of the content, because really the content in a group like this, it's really driven by the audience. I mean, obviously I'm going to be cultivating that, but the value of the content really is lives or dies with the audience. And when you're throwing out stuff like this that I'm going to talk about to large masses of people, it gets real diluted. It's just not as good. It's messy. Like for instance, we're going to be doing live Q&As. I've done them before on my platforms, and yeah, that you can get some stuff, but number one, I can't keep up with the questions that are coming in. Number two, you get a lot of just junk in there.
Trashy.
It's just terrible. And it really just takes away from the value of that content. So, somewhere that you're not going to be able to do this anywhere else, but I'll sit down, we'll do some live Q&As. We can get really in depth. And when I originally did them, like when I used to do these on my YouTube channel, like 3-4 years ago, back when I was a lot smaller, and those were really, really good. It's not that way anymore. I mean, it's just a bunch of garbage. The last one I tried was probably about a year and a half ago, and it was like, yeah, I ain't doing that again. It was just bad. So it's just gotten out of hand. Something that I'm really excited about, and I wanted a place for this type of content, and groups are really the only way that it makes sense with people that are hyper focused on this. I want to film the process of me. I fish almost every day, and we'll have at least one of these per week, but possibly more as I get more familiar and comfortable with creating this content, because this is kind of new. But basically going live where I'm going to just sit down as I'm getting prepared for my next day of fishing and talk about it. Like I'm just going to go over the rigs that I'm tying on, the knots that I'm tying, why I'm tying that knot, tell you what I'm thinking as far as like where I'm going to be going fishing, why I chose that, which, there's so many different factors. Like every day I'm doing this anyway. Like I have to go through this process every evening or, the day prior and figure out, okay, what am I going to do tomorrow? And I just want to sit down in front of you guys in this live group and basically just walk you through that process. And once I make that decision, preparing for that day, with the proper rods, reels, and rigs, I've got 30 something setups right now. And, each day that I fish, I may only have 2, possibly 4 from surf fishing, set rig fishing, or, whatever I may be doing. So why am I selecting those? Like, why am I taking these rods and reels? Why am I tying these rigs? Go over all of that with you, and break down the apps that I look at each time, the conditions that I'm checking. I'm gonna go fish this area of the beach because the wind this day is just gonna be terrible, and I'm not gonna be able to fish over here. Or what, today I'm hopping in the kayak and I'm gonna be pushing off in a creek. Well, here's why I came to that decision. This is what's going on the beach right now. We had just had a big low pressure system that dumped a junk load of rain, and water's super dirty over here, but it didn't get as much rain in this water system over here. So I'm going to go hop in the kayak. Just basic off the top of my head decisions that I have to make every day as to why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just be able to sit down and talk with people and go over that process. I think that'll be helpful for a lot of folks as to how I come to the decisions that I come to each and every day. And of course you guys do, I haven't personally seen a lot of these, but I know you guys do the weekend game plans, which sounds incredible, because so many people that subscribe to this content, unfortunately for many of them, they have jobs and have to work during the week. And so a lot of the fishing for a lot of folks is on the weekend. And so you guys break down like what's coming up and the conditions. We'll be doing that as well for my area. Obviously I can't give you a weekend game plan necessarily for, Outer Banks, but I can tell you, I can look at the conditions here and kind of what we're running into and what we're catching for most of the north central Gulf Coast area.
So for you current members, what he's explaining is essentially in his group, he's going to be doing the weekend game plans for his area and beach surf fishing in particular, and then also doing insider reports. So the whole insider club started on exactly what you just said, Matthew, where we started getting that my brother Luke started getting the question, hey, because he was catching a whole lot more fish than me and fishing more often. He's like, hey, I'd love to see, like, why did you pick that spot? Like, why did you go during that tide? Why did you hit this area, versus that area with this wind direction? Like, I want to understand that. And that's really how the whole thing started. Is Luke just like you said, he was doing it anyways. Like he loved studying it. He loved working on the pre-trip plan, and he's just started filming it and sharing it. And so now we're doing it literally every single day. We have a new one every single Monday through Friday. We have a new fishing report. And I don't know if you've seen all this yet, but I mean, you can click what season you want. So if we're here in fall, you can hit fall, and let's just say fall redfish and trout. You can do the weather, the tide, water clarity, and hit apply filter, and even go on the map view as well and see where you're gonna have to be a member to see all this stuff. But you can go in here and then see anything that you possibly want to see. And especially it's cool when you go to the map view and see this, and they're showing their pre-trip plan. They're showing this. Why did they actually pick that spot? Sometimes it's 3 videos where they do the pre-trip plan, the actual on the water action, and these are like 7 minutes. So it's not, you have to sit through an hour of footage to watch this. And this one is 6 minutes. And he talks about why we picked that spot. If you just watch these alone and do nothing else with the club, with all the other cool stuff we have, if you just watch this for your area, you're going to know more than 99% of every weekend warrior and out there. Like it's nuts how much you can learn just from watching someone who is on the water every day go through that process. It starts just becoming repetitive, and you start like, oh man, yeah, that's what Wyatt did, or that's what Matthew did during that trip. And then when you combine it with what you mentioned earlier with these smart fishing game plans, that's where every Friday morning, sometimes we record them the night before, whatever, but every Friday morning they get released. And that is where a coach or a guide, we're starting to work with some guides as well. We're going to have one in like every single little small region, Matthew, being one of them. And so we're right now literally hiring some in North Carolina and all over Florida and Texas, where these guides who are on the water every day will give their report in 10 minutes or less. That's the goal. Do it in 10 minutes or less, where they can share exactly what's working. Hey, the redfish have been here on the ledges in the morning, and then they're pushing up in the afternoons, or maybe it's the opposite, right? Where they get to share exactly what's working in your area, real time, like on the water, real time stuff you can't get anywhere else. It's the thing I'm really, really stoked for. I mean, so just those two things alone are enough reason for you to come join and obviously be in Matthew's group. So anyone who's in surf fishing, you're going to be the guy. This is going to be essentially the first group is going to be the Bama Beach Bum surf fishing group. Maybe that's the name of it. Maybe we just solved that mystery.
Keep it simple. We don't have to get crazy with it.
Yeah, but it's going to be so helpful because we haven't had that. And right now it just finished up. It's not out there for you guys to purchase yet, but Wyatt was down or up in your neck of the woods, I guess over for him, filming a pier fishing course. Those two things, pier fishing, surf, beach, jetties. I mean, it's so highly requested, and we haven't nailed it yet. And we finally have. That's why we're so excited to team up with you. And we're like, all right, we're going to have an expert who's in here every week, just sharing exactly what's working. Your point, man, I got 36 rods and reels and rigs up here. Why am I picking these 2 or 3 today? So powerful.
Yeah.
Talk about the live thing too, because I'm really stoked about that. The fact that we've never had that before. We really are building this for you. The coaches will have the ability at some point, but Matt's basically gonna be the first guy to go live on these things. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, no, I think it's twofold. Number one, I feel like interaction. It will, again, like what I was saying with these types of groups, the content's going to be more valuable based on the input from the members, and so because the question, I mean, that's you can learn so much, and just from hearing the questions from all the people, and these are going to again be people that are genuinely passionate about this, and so that's why it's so big and so exciting to get in with a group of people that are all passionate about the same thing and get those questions. So I want that interaction, because the problem, and I learned this a lot filming the course, and I'm so glad that Wyatt was here. The problem with me is there's so many things, there's so many details, and a lot of the time I'm just going through the motions, and I'll mention something or whatever, and I'll
Yep.
breeze over things, or I'll forget things that I just kind of do, and I don't necessarily think about it, but somebody else that's from the outside looking in will go, "Hey, wait up 1 second. Why'd you do that?" Like, and it's a great question. Like, you know what? I should have answered that question, but I just didn't think about it. So I love that interaction and having people, interrupt me and say, "Hey, answer that question," and that's just so valuable. And two, it allows me to, if I having the access to do it live, is I'm doing it anyway. All I got to do is turn on a camera. You know what I mean? So for me, it allows me to be more accessible to do it. Whereas instead of like sitting down in front of my camera, filming it, editing it, uploading it, all the things, this allows me to move much quicker and get that content out there for people. It gives me an avenue to do it effectively for me. But I like the aspect of including the group through that process, just because honestly, I'm pretty bad at answering every question, and that will help eliminate that problem.
Yeah, and inside of here, we don't allow any cursing. You literally cannot curse in the community. Like, it won't let you. Because we built this thing from the ground up, and that was something that was important to us. Is we don't want negativity, we don't
Sure.
want cursing, we don't want people belittling each other. And what I've seen on YouTube in particular, which is and Facebook, but those
Oh
two
yeah.
places, when you go live,
Oh,
all of a sudden you're doing something cool, right? You personally, and then you get someone who says something that someone else doesn't agree with. Shocking that would happen this day and age.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you have these two, and then other
Yeah.
people, they're literally having a massive argument on the side
Yes.
while you're trying to go live and be helpful. And so
Yes.
we avoid all that stuff. We're going to
No,
have
it's
positive people asking real questions, and you can give real attention versus having a million people out there who YouTube's trying to get everyone possible in the ecosystem that
correct.
might want to join that, versus this. It's going to be super, super tailored to our community and your group in particular. And I'm really, really pumped about that. And I know the giveaways, we're going to probably do some cool giveaways, some bummy sticks and some things like that we'll do inside of that group on Matt's live Q&As. And of course, we'll record these as well. I know a lot of people say, hey, what if I can't make it that night or
Sure.
whatever? We'll obviously record these and put them here in the library, if you will. But yeah, I'm so pumped about that. And I mean, there's places like, the Patreons of the world that people are paying a lot of money just to get some access and kind of see
I
behind the
know.
scenes. Like, dude, this is next level. You're getting
People, yeah,
real
people, and
time.
that's what's exciting bringing this group here. Because I mean, there's Patreons. You can even, I don't know if you're aware, but like you can charge for groups on Facebook now. So like
Yep.
you can have a private group and you can charge a subscription. You can do it on Instagram. I think you can do it on YouTube. I'm not even sure. I've always been very hesitant to do that. Patreon, any of those where there's a fee to get in, because all you're getting is me. Which, hey, I feel good about myself, and I feel like I'm going to give you some value. But like having something like Salt Strong, you get, not only are you getting me, I mean, you are getting just so much value for your money. I mean, the list goes on.
You're
I mean,
getting
Joe,
all of this stuff.
yes,
I'm on
yeah.
the weekend game plans right now. That's the thing that we do every week. Plus every single thing in here. I mean, the smart fishing spots alone, that's that new software. I mean, it's, oh my gosh, it is
Yeah.
absolutely next
So
level.
because you may get tired of me, and you may pay the money and be like, you know what, I'm tired of getting the stuff from Matthew. But like, there's so much stuff here that's going to be valuable and worth your money. I would much rather bring an audience here where they can get information from endless, amount of information from so many resources that's pertinent to the topic that we're all trying to do is get better at fishing. And instead of just a Patreon or a Facebook or whatever, where all you get is me, so that's why this is so attractive to anybody that's looking to do it. Is the sky's the limit. I can't go on enough about what you get for it. So
And of course, if this works, which we know it will, Bama is going to be, no one else can start a group, at least for the foreseeable future. We're going to put all our time and attention to make sure this works. Then we'll have other ones, right? And so that's the power of, let's just say it'll be Angler Up with Brant next, or Bearded Brad, or someone that we're already doing some things with and we already like and trust, because that's very important to us, not just to open it up as a free for all. And we'll have other groups. And if you're a current member, it'll be somewhere over here on the right hand side if you're logged in the community, where it'll hopefully in the next couple weeks you'll be able to see a little button that says join the Bama Beach Bum group, and then you'll get the notifications anytime we're going live. We'll email if there's any big events, or if there's a smart fishing game plan or an insider report, him showing exactly what's going on. So all that will be in here. And to your point, yeah, it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And just as we saw how cool that was, and the synergy that happened when we had all of you content creators at that place in Arapica, same thing can happen in here. And that opens up the door to do a whole lot more events. I saw, I won't pull his name up, but a guy named Andy here in our group happened to hear that Wyatt was in town and Matt was in town, and he had a little party for them, and I think 15-20 different insider members all met up and had dinner together and just shared stories and talked about fishing all night. And I had multiple people email saying like that was so much fun. And cool. So this opens up the door once again to do little small groups that continue to keep on working. So I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be really awesome. Good. What else? Anything else we're missing in your group that you're excited about doing? Is this gonna be like your Dear Diary? You're gonna share all your intimate secrets? And
I might be in my underwear or something while I'm shooting one of these. There might be kind of some crossover OnlyFans. Who knows? I'm just kidding. I won't subject anyone to that. I promise.
Ooh, thank you. Ooh.
No, I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, we've got a lot of ideas, and this is new for me. And we know the kind of the bread and butter of it, like the big ideas. But like anything like this, it's going to evolve into what works, what doesn't, and what people like and what people don't like. Again, the value is going to be driven from the community itself, and that the pulse of that. And that's why we do a group like this, is so that we can have that type of connection where you're getting what you want. You get the information you want out of it, and what you put into it, you're going to get out. I mean, it's just, I love that aspect of a hyper focused, hyper passionate group.
That's it. And based on community and based on education, right? Because that really is the cornerstone of all of this. We obviously have the community and that education piece of it, right? If you guys already follow Bama Beach Bum on his YouTube channel or on Facebook, it is cool to see you catching fish, but it's always that question, man, how did he pick that spot? How did he? That's how we all get better, right? And I'm sure you had that. You weren't an expert, since you were in diapers. Like, you start saying, all right, man, why did they pick that one part of the beach? Why was it so good, during this moon phase, or whatever the questions you have are. And that's the little things that we just keep unlocking over and over and over again with all these different coaches. And so that's our goal, is to have people like Matt with all these different little specialties and now subspecialties in different areas and regions, all just giving their absolute best, on a private platform, and they're not having to do it out there on YouTube for the whole world to see. And as I said, I mean, one of my favorite things is we have a pretty big Facebook group with, I don't know, 86,000 people or something. And I don't know, it sickens me sometimes, just all the hatred and all the negativity out there. And I love getting away from that and going in the
Yeah.
community. As my wife, anytime she sees me on the phone, she's like, "In the community?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Because I love doing it. I usually got a smile on my face. I love seeing what people are catching, and you get a lot of families in there posting stuff because they know there's not going to be cursing or negativity or
Right.
belittling. It's positive, happy people who are willing to share and want to see you succeed as well. So really,
Yeah.
really pumped for this. We want to just get on here and kind of tease this because it's not here yet. If you're wondering, it's not here yet. So one, we want to tease it. Two, we want your feedback. Right. I mean, as Matt just said, this is new. We're going to be adding stuff as it goes. What would you like to see from Bama Beach Bum? What are certain topics, or if there's a certain thing where we haven't even talked about or thought of? Hey, what would be super helpful for you in terms of community, maybe get-togethers on the education side? What would you like to see, if it's certain tackle or certain types of rigs, or if it's just, hey, what's happening this weekend in that area? Let us know. We'll have a comment section on definitely, if you can, go to saltstrong.com in the blog. It's in like the fishing tips area. That's the best area, but you can still leave it on YouTube if you like. But I know all the ones on the blog come right to me, and I'll make sure that we get those answered. So let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Anything else, my friend?
I'm hopeful that there's some type of plaque for being on the podcast 3 times.
There's no plaque, but there is a massive trophy.
Oh, look at that. Holy smokes.
Keeps
Yeah.
on
You shipping that out?
going.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll ship
Yes.
this out.
Oh yeah.
You can see here on the
1545 Gulf Shores Parkway, number 135.
Yep, it's even a
Look
little
at
fishing rod up there on the beach.
yes.
It's it. We've been waiting for you to ask. So.
The 3 feet, baby. Oh man.
Yep, there it is.
I
That
didn't
big
know you were
trophy.
so prepared. Wow.
Yeah, I just happen to have it here. You never can be too careful. Always good to keep a big trophy, a 6-foot tall trophy, right? Good times. All right, brother. Always fun chatting with you. Current members, and there's no cost to this. This is free for once you're an insider member. Matt will be obviously recruiting on his channel and bringing people in through through his own network. But for our current members, if you're not a member, join today. But if you're already a member, there's no cost. We're going to send you an email letting you know it's open, and all you have to do is click a button to join. Just like if you're already on Facebook, you just literally click the button and you're now following Matt and his crazy adventures and all the stuff that we just talked about. So
yeah.
I think that is it. We'll get the trophy out today. And
sweet.
Yeah. Guys, it's been fun. We will talk to you on the next episode, and stay tuned for more information on these Salt Strong Insider Club/community groups. Matthew, appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.